Good afternoon and welcome. May the Lord be with you. What do you think this is? Have a little look at it. I might give you a clue to the parable I'm about to read. See if you can think what it might be. Today's reading is taken from Matthew 31, verses 31 to 33. Actually, it's Matthew 13, verses 31 to 33. Sorry about that. So, Jesus told them another parable. And we all know what a parable is. It was where Jesus used to do his teaching through stories. The kingdom of heaven is like this. A man takes a mustard seed and sows it in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it grows up, it is the biggest of all plants. It becomes a tree, so that birds come and make their nests in its branches. So did anybody guess what we were looking at? That's right, we were looking at lots and lots of mustard seeds. And if you've ever grown mustard seed, you know how tiny, tiny, tiny they are and how they grow from that tiny little bit into one of the strongest trees ever. I wonder why Jesus would tell people that story. Why would he say the kingdom of heaven is like this? Have a little think about it. This term, we're going to be exploring the vision of a special group of Christians. That a special group of Christians created and their vision. This group called themselves the Order of the Mustard Seed. Why would you call yourself the Order of the Mustard Seed? Think back. The mustard seed was very small and it grew to be very strong. And this group, in their vision, they saw themselves as very small and but growing. So how did this Order of the Mustard Seed start? The original Order of the Mustard Seed started in 1716 by a group of friends at an academy in eastern Germany, led by a nobleman. They saw their society as a kind of spiritual order of knighthood, dedicated not to personal honour or self-advancement, but to radical service to Jesus Christ the King. The rules they committed to live by would change and mature as the order grew, but the heart of their promise always remained the same. They had three promises they lived by: to be true to Christ, to be kind to people, and take the gospel to nations. Throughout this remarkable period, the mustard seed convenient was the guiding principle which urged them on in mission and service and led them back onto the right path when they got it wrong. Its members included many people of influence at the time, like the King of Denmark and the Archbishop of Canterbury. However, it also included ordinary people from many walks of life. As far as we know, the original Order of the Mustard Seed did not continue much beyond the 18th century. However, these rules were then developed further by the 24/7 prayer movement over the past 20 years. It is these principles on which the collective worship plans are based. I wonder what we can learn from these principles and how we can live them out in our own lives. What does it mean to be true to Christ? We celebrate creativity in his glory. We live and pray by his laws. What does it mean to be kind to people? What do you think it means to be kind to people? We practice hospitality. What do I mean by that? Practicing hospitality, we look after people. We make sure we don't have homeless people. We look after people in the community. We look after people in our friends. We express God's mercy and His justice. We live by the Ten Commandments. Very similar to our vision, isn't it? What does it mean when I say take the gospel to the nations? How do we do that? How do we do that at St. Margaret's? We commit ourselves to being lifelong learners, which is part of our vision, isn't it? Our vision at St. Margaret's is to be a lifelong learner, so that we might shape culture and make disciples and be disciples. So when we look at the vision of the mustard seed, how does it link into our vision? That's in Margaret's. We all need a vision to make sure we're moving forward. We believe in St. Margaret's that we're lifelong learners, and that's what we'd like you to try and be. We expect you to be kind and show kindness to other people in whatever form it might be. We celebrate creativity. We look at each other and we celebrate everything everybody else does. And take the gospel to nations. You don't have to go far. You just believe and you go out and you tell people you believe. I'm not asking you to go out and preach, but just when you talk to each other, we look at how the gospel expects us to live. Dear God, help me live this day to the full, following the example you set. Jesus, help me to give myself away to others, being kind to everyone I meet. Spirit, help me to love the lost, be hospitable, and stand up for truth and justice. Amen. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.